Good afternoon, Stephanie. It's such a pleasure to be here today with you.
It's my honor, my honor.
I want to just kickstart by asking you about the first time, your presidential theme, the Magic of Rotary. It was inspired by a child in the Dominican Republic,
Yes.
saying, "Show me that magic again."
Correct.
And what was that personal moment, that first drew you to peace building as a Rotarian?
Well, peace building has always been at the core of who I am, even before I was a Rotarian. But that particular experience was magical because we realized it wasn't the water filter that we had given him that was magic and the clean water coming out. It was what would happen to that family once we knew they had clean water. Those little boys in the family had not been going to school 5 days a week. Now they could go back to school and get an education. The mother in the family had never looked for work because she too had to walk for water. So now we knew she could. So all those actions lead to a more peaceful way for that family to survive. So that's what did it.
That's amazing. And that was the start of the many, many years that you've contributed to Rotary since then.
Well, it was definitely the start of realizing that everything we do in the name of Rotary has a connection to peace building. Our organization is built on a foundation of world understanding and peace. And so I think it's important for Rotary leaders, all of us, whether we have titles or not, to remind Rotarians and to remind others the importance of every action that we take and how it leads to something peaceful.
Thank you for sharing that, because you ended with the word peaceful, and I want to build on that because I am a Rotary Peace Fellow thanks to the Rotary Foundation's very generous and unconditional giving, that is a degree, the master's program or a certificate program.
Mm-hmm.
And being here at the convention as a Rotary Peace Fellow, my first thought is, what are we as Rotary Peace Fellows underutilizing and the Rotary wishes that we did more of, to really put into practice all that we've been so grateful to achieve and receive from the Rotary Foundation and from the Rotary International.
Well, my understanding is that we have 1,900 or so of you, and there's really only a handful that have not really embraced the concept of taking the education received and doing something with it. Only a handful. There's so many of you who have done exactly that. You've internalized and taken that master's degree or that certificate in peace and conflict resolution and looked back at your own area to decide, how can I, as an agent of social change, go back there and create something that's going to contribute to peace? So I'm delighted as a trustee of the Rotary Foundation now. That is our number one educational program, and we're very proud of it. And we will continue to pursue centers around the world, because the more peace fellows like you that we can put into communities, the more we're going to be able to build a culture of peace.
I mean, no pressure on us peace fellows for sure. But it's so heartening to hear these words, because that's precisely what we feel as well as the recipient of this generous fellowship, that how can we give more and how can we have more peace fellows coming in. And this brings me to my next question of, how do you see the peace fellows being the bridge to the Rotarians and the civil population, particularly the ones working with grassroots level organizations, community practitioners, to bring in more clear, the candidates that would so benefit from this kind of empowerment?
Yeah. I think it was, I'm not exactly sure who it was, but somebody said, when we work by ourselves, Mother Teresa, when we work by ourselves, we can get some things done. But when we work with others, when we partner with others, we can do so much more. And I think that's what you're really speaking to. We hope that as Peace Fellows, in addition to what you're doing in your journey, in your activities where you are, that you also, as you work with Rotarians, look at Rotary as a potential path for you. because the combination of being a Peace Fellow and then being an active Rotarian, I think just doubles the opportunity that you have to do things to make a difference in the world.
That's actually the gap that we should be filling in, and that's actually the point where Rotary Peace Fellows can come in to support more, either, like you said, as members of the clubs or becoming the agents of change that we've been awarded the fellowship for, and then building it further as bridges, connecting Rotarians with the different kind of communities that maybe we're already working with, and bringing in Rotarians there to say, come in, support. And it's not always financial support that we're saying. Rotarians themselves are so giving, and they're so brilliant in terms of all of the different activities that they're doing. There's so much of expertise and knowledge that can be shared by the Rotarians into the different programs, because it's not just finance that's the wealth, it's also knowledge. That's the true wealth, right? Which can really bring up lives.
Exactly. And see, as Peace Fellows, you operationalize an area of focus that sometimes can be very nebulous for Rotarians. They understand the concept, but they're not sure how to put it into practice, how to put it into action. So as you work in your communities, and then as you actually maybe look at becoming Rotarians, you will bridge that gap and help people understand how to operationalize our area of focus.
Amazing. And just maybe one last question, if I may. I understand you were the first woman president.
I was the second. I was the first from the United States.
Right.
But the second in the world.
In the
yes.
world. And how do you see that becoming more of the norm and not such a rare feat?
Well, I'm a Rotarian because of who I am, not because I'm a woman. But having said that, I also appreciate that there are female Rotarians around the world who look to both me as well as Jennifer Jones, who was the first, and say, if they can do it, so can I. And that's what makes me so proud, that we have really forged a path.
And what a path you've forged.
Oh, thank you.
It's a path that is going to be, they always say we stand on the shoulders of leaders. Everyone that comes after is going to be surely standing on yours and Jennifer's shoulders to be able to make the difference that is the Rotary mandate.
Thank you for the compliment, but I always say we're in this together. So teamwork is very important.
That is very, very kind and very, very generous and humble of you, Stephanie. And I really appreciate all that you've done and you continue to do. What are your plans now when you're on the other side in terms of the past president role and trusteeship and all the different...
Well, first of all, I refer to myself as a previous president or prior president because the word in English past sounds like P-A-S-S-E-D, and I'm not dead yet.
No, not at all, not at all.
So I'm a previous president, but the moment I left the presidency, the very next day, I became a trustee of the Rotary Foundation. So my work now is a little different, but it's focused on fund development and our programs in the foundation and stewardship. We really want, when donors are interested in supporting a peace center, we want to make sure that that's exactly what their donation does. So I'm very happy.
That's great. And as a Peace Fellow, because you talk about the donation, the donors donating to the peace centers, are there certain points that incoming, not just applicants, but also Rotary Club, district governors, members should be mindful of when they're looking at applications for the next year's Peace Fellowship, call for application that comes in?
Well, for me, it's always about passion. Having a passion for the purpose is for me, critical. So for those applicants who through their writing and through their interviews show that passion for peace building, I think that's the key.
That's amazing. So for everyone that's passionate, please do look out for the Rotary Peace Fellowship. It'll be an understatement when I say it is the most brilliant academic program that one can have the big privilege to receive and to contribute to. So thank you very much, Stephanie, once again for all your time and
thank you
for all the great work that you've done and you continue to do.
We're in this together.
Thank you so much. Thank you.